I don't even know how to begin a video like this. Like, where do I even start? It was over a decade of my life that I had dedicated to people who took advantage of the situation, me being young, vulnerable, impressionable. I just don't want to sit back anymore and watch repeat offenders get away with doing this to people. Never really wanted to make this video or ever intended on making a video like this about this situation. But, you know, there's always a day for everything. I guess what really ignited a lot of my emotions and feelings right now is I just heard from a person, fuck it. Why am I still protecting these people? Joshua David Evans just DM'd me. I have not heard from that man for probably at least 8 years. And I just received an apology, somewhat, for the way I was treated back in the day. And that is a whole can of worms, whole tangent. But the fact of the matter, and I think what upset me so much, is what Adam has come about, or what Adam has spoken about in terms of what happened with his situation with Colleen. I think what hit me so hard is just realizing how many similarities I've had with her throughout our friendship, work experiences, my employment, like any situation with her. These similarities in the situations are jarring, a bit uncomfortable with how similar a lot of the conversations went down between the victims and her. It's really gross, and I think today, just getting that DM a little while ago from Josh, it struck a chord in me and made me realize that these people are still trying to have this hold over me and the people who they do these things to, and it's wrong, it's disgusting. I was 15 years old when all of this started happening, and that has been acknowledged. And I think the grossest part is how inadvertently the blame is still somewhat being shifted towards me, because I was, a young, impressionable, naive teen at the time, and I didn't know boundaries and everything. And yes, I was a child, I was a teenager. There were probably some moments that I'd look back on and I'd be like, ooh, yeah, but I was just excited over the fact that, me being a kid who had no friends, who got bullied out of school, who was just looking for some form of connection with people, and the fact that I found that with people I idolized and had this community, it was addicting. I didn't want to lose that. I, up until recently, have still been protecting these people because I wanted to believe that the connections I had with them, the friendships, the interactions, they were authentic and they were genuine, but they just never were. I worked for Colleen on the Miranda Sings bus tour 2018, and that was something that I thought was going to be life-changing for me, and it was, in all the ways I didn't expect. I was bullied, tormented on a daily, eventually got my room access revoked. We had hotel rooms that, we would drive on the bus to a location overnight, and then we get there super late. And one night, we had gotten to our location in New Jersey, and I had asked Corey if he wanted the room and if he didn't mind sharing, because we were kind of like room buddies. And he, in his Corey way, kind of mumbled and didn't say much. And I was like, okay, I'm tired, gonna go to bed. So I didn't realize I had grabbed both room keys. And so I texted him when I got up to the room and I was like, oh, hey, dude, I have both keys. If you want to sleep up here, like, let me know. And he was like, I'm just going to sleep on the bus tonight. I want to wake up to go to the gym tomorrow. So just make sure you're up so I can get the key from you. And I was like, okay, great. I went to bed and woke up the next morning bright and early. He strung me along for about an hour and then he finally texted me that he was coming up to the room to get the key. And I opened the door and greeted him, said good morning, asked him how he was. And mind you, it didn't surprise me that he slept on the bus. And I know that's gonna sound strange, like who would take a bus over a hotel room? But he just did stuff like that sometimes. So it wasn't particularly out of the ordinary for him to do that. I was just like, okay, like maybe he just wants privacy, wants his space. Because the bus was empty, usually. People would go to the rooms, regardless. I sat back on the bed because I thought we were just gonna kiki and have like a little morning chat. No, nothing of the sort. I was screamed at immediately because I stole the room and I didn't ask for it, and how dare I? He's worked for his title. He has licked the floor clean where Colleen has walked to get his title. Blah, 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 blah. I was horrified to the point where I had a full-blown panic attack and sobbed and called my mom on the phone and told her that I was coming home. Ooh, this wind. Thankfully, I did not. And I say thankfully because yes, the experience unfortunately just got worse and there are so many stories that unfold, but that's when things started to get really bad, was that instance. It took away my room rights. I wasn't able to shower in hotel rooms. I had to wait till we got to the venues, until family members like Colleen's parents and Rachel came on tour. They were my safety net. They allowed me to use their showers, hang out in their rooms on days off because I was completely blacklisted unless I went into our sound guy and lighting and tour assistants hotel room, and it was 3 of them sharing one. Like, it just wasn't realistic. And you go into a shower after 3 men who have just worked for 15 hours and slept in that, wash it off of their bodies. It was that or athlete's foot in the venues. I wore flip-flops, I showered in the it was fine. But the whole premise of it, I was 22 years old. This was the first time I was living away from home. I was living on a bus, like overworked, underpaid, and I couldn't even have the decency of sleeping in a bed or showering in a private unit for like an entire summer. That takes its toll on you. I was just gaslit left and right. I would constantly be told that I was right and that, I'd get counseled through these situations. I'm so proud of you for sticking up for yourself, all this fabricated nonsense. It was just love bombing, feeding my ego to make me believe that I was valued and appreciated, respected. But those were all just words. The actions proved otherwise. I was constantly told, I'm proud of you. I actually, I know you're telling the truth, but I'm going to enable this person in my life to continue treating you this way. That is constantly what I was told. And I'm just at a point where I'm not willing, hi doggies, I'm just not willing to enable that anymore. Like, who am I protecting? Well, where's the protection for me? Like I have been protecting all of these people through all of these years at the expense of my emotions and my well-being. And like, I'm just not gonna do that anymore. And seeing people like Adam and Cody come out with their stories the same tactics and manipulation. It's repeated offenses, it's tactical, it's evil, manipulative. I can't stay silent anymore. I can't do it. It's just gross. And the fact that people are coming to me now trying to do damage control after I have not heard from them for almost a decade is comical to me at this point. Because me back in the day, I would have been naive enough to believe, the apologies and believe that they were genuine. But, I've been fooled one too many times, and it's time I start standing up for myself. This dude's staring at me. But yeah, I have a lot to say, and there's so much more into this. It goes so deep. And again, a huge reason why I wanted to make this video is I'll be completely real and transparent. I noticed that Adam, in his latest video that I watched, had made an apology to Josh. Totally respectable. They are two individual people. Do what you will with that. Like, if they had a conversation that went well between the two of them, like, great, I'm happy for them. But I was personally affected by Josh's grooming, manipulation, and he can't go under the radar. No, it's not happening. He is just as guilty as the rest of them. Corey is one of the most evil people I've ever met in my life. Colleen allowed all of it to happen. The entire crew let it happen. They watched me get mentally abused for an entire summer, and it was always the same thing behind closed doors. Good job, Johnny, we're proud of you. Because I finally started sticking up for myself. I got backed into a corner one day by Mr. DeSoto himself and was told something along the lines of, look how many followers you have versus me. I'm your superior. I was 22 at the time, and this dude was 30 plus years old. Like, this is the reality these people are living in. Like, it's gross. It's gross. And I think it's about time that people start telling their stories. And I don't want to make this super long because I don't know. It's a lot to talk about. And it's also a lot to wrap your head around because, like I said, still up until recently, I had just gone to a Miranda show 2 months ago. I was still attempting to salvage any relationship that was left, and I was made to feel pretty humiliated. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna post this, but hey, this is my story, or just a little tiny sliver of it. But we can't be so outraged over these people, these influencers, celebrities getting away with this stuff if we're complacent and we allow it to happen. And just as hurt as I was by Colleen being complacent and watching her friend abuse me, I can't watch these other people who have suffered throughout the same situations I did and not say anything, because that shows complacency and that gets us nowhere. We have to stick together, and it's really disgusting and sad that multiple people had to go through such similar traumatic experiences, but that's why I think it's really important that people like Adam and Cody are sharing their experiences, because, you know, no change is going to be made unless people start taking accountability and, you know, things start getting out there. But anyways, I don't even know how to end this video. Yeah, just if there's one piece of advice that I could give anybody who might potentially stumble upon this video, it is so easy to get wrapped up in the world of celebrities and influencers and people who hold so much value in our society, but just give that love to yourself, give that love to your friends and your family, show up for them like you do these people who have these huge followings, who don't know you, who don't care about you. Like, and not to say every celebrity is like that. There are good, genuine ones out there. And, you know, even the people I've mentioned in this video, do I think they're like awful people? Some of them. But, you know, not all. I believe, you know, we're all human. We all screw up. We all make mistakes, and we can recover from them. But, you know, like I said, repeat offenses. It's still happening to this day. Case in point, this morning. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm going to go. If y'all want to hear any more of this, let me know, because I got stories, y'all. I got stories. But yeah, I'm Johnny. I'm signing off. Thanks for watching.